So I wanted to get your feelings on this kind of a new approach, if it were to say, do you think medicine should just get rid of the diagnosis altogether? Especially when it comes to mental health, let's say, because I feel like that's really misunderstood and truly misdiagnosed because you don't have biochemical readings all the time to kind of substantiate your finding and say, oh, we got it here. Look at this paper. It shows you have Lyme disease, right? Or it shows you have this or diabetes or anything. Would you agree that diagnoses are a little bit, too over kind of, pushed on doctors to make treatments versus really understanding the patient?
I could not agree more. And Casper, it's honestly, it is healing, and it is so encouraging to even have the opportunity to verbalize and have this discussion, right? Because I firmly believe, again, the diagnosis, the only diagnosis that matters is what you are, essentially diagnosing yourself to the capacity of just understanding your experience. Your opinion and your system, like you said, it's completely unique. This doctor, what my mistake and what I hope to kind of, again, serve as caution for people who have lost faith in themselves for potentially seemingly very valid reasons. If we can live in a society, and this is really the new medical paradigm that I'm truly working to change, but if we can encourage each other and ourselves to reinstill that faith in ourselves, our trust, our connection to intuition, this is nature's recalibration tool that we inherently have. We've got this wiring literally in our brain for our intuitive connection, and like any muscle, you have to foster that. You have to practice listening to yourself. And that is exactly, the mistake that I made. I believed that the medical system knew best. And it's honestly barbaric, our actual understanding of how some of these pharmaceuticals truly work. We're so misled, and ultimately, at the end of the day, what is the reason behind that? It is the incentives of our current medical system, which is a pharmaceutical incentive and a profit incentive over the patient. And that is really what we need to reconstruct. And I do firmly believe that it begins with, I love the phrase, the death of the diagnosis, because, like I said before, what is the DSM other than a vehicle to be able to code for insurances at the end of the day?
Yeah.
When we define what is even happening in the present moment, and I'll speak from my own experience, I think that it's also really important to remember, and this is what meditative practices really, I think, allow us to do, but anything that is consciousness expanding, which again is truly the opposite of the paradigm we find ourselves in now. The paradigm right now is to suppress, is to numb, is to make, ultimately people a shell of themselves in these pharmaceuticals, especially. When we remain open to the possibility of impermanence, right? That even if, yes, you can actively be ill in all of these ways right now. Yes, I am actively, insulin dependent currently, but I've really tried to adopt new language, even when I'm speaking about myself and my current system, which I get flack for. It seems like denial to some of my treatment team even now, but I leave room for the possibility that, again, this is a result of epigenetic trauma, and things can change. We are so much more like reptiles or amphibians that can regenerate than these cut and dried, dichotomized, siloed definitions. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I truly believe that there's a lot of danger in relying on defining someone. And again, ultimately, what I realized is the power that is carried when you allow somebody else to define you, right? Because I all of a sudden was experiencing very real medical symptoms, and I wasn't receiving care because I was immediately dismissed by the diagnosis. So I nearly lost my life to a wrong definition. And you know, I firmly believe that I survived my experience and everything happens for a reason. Again, it has led me exactly to where I feel I need to be today. But I am one individual, right, that was almost lost to the system. I mean, very truly, my family was just kind of like reorganizing life. Like, okay, we have a daughter that is now a vegetable, you know, and she's going to be dependent for the rest of her life. I mean, we're just coming to terms because that's what the entire reality society was forcing us to believe, and there was no hope. It was not going to change. This is the best case scenario. And, you know, at the end of the day, not only have I regained my life, but, you know, turns out I actually, you know, am so blessed to work with this technology that really has opportunity and solutions. And again, I'm one individual. Imagine if we start helping all of these people who are lost to our system and still currently suffering, to regain their true purpose. You know, how exponentially quickly we can catalyze and transform, you know, truly the universe.